Okay, so we're going into chapter 2 of Genesis from the Message. I'm going to dive right in. Heaven and earth were finished, down to the last detail. By the seventh day, God had finished his work. On the seventh day, he rested from all his work. God blessed the seventh day. He made it a holy day, because on that day he rested from his work. All the creating got it done. This is the story of how it all started. Of heaven and earth when they were created. At the time, God made earth and heaven before any grasses or shrubs had sprouted from the ground. God hadn't yet sent rain on the earth, nor was there anyone around to work the ground. The whole earth was watered by underground springs. God formed man out of the dirt from the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. The man came alive, a living soul. Then God planted a garden in Eden in the east. He put the man he had just made in it. God made all kinds of trees grow from the ground. Trees beautiful to look at and good to eat. The tree of life was in the middle of the garden. Also, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flows out of Eden to water the garden, and from there divides into 4 rivers. The first is named Pishon. It flows through Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of this land is good. The land is also known for a sweet-scented resin and the onyx stone. The second river is named Gishon. It flows through the land of Cush. The third river is named Hiddekel and flows east of Assyria. The fourth river is the Euphrates. God took the man and set him down in the Garden of Eden to work the ground and keep it in order. God commanded man, "You can eat from any tree in the garden except from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat from it. The moment you eat from that tree, you're dead." God said, "It's not good for man to be alone. I'll make a helper for him, a companion." So God formed from the dirt of the ground all the animals of the field and all the birds of the air. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. Whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. The man named the cattle, named the birds of the air, named the wild animals, but he didn't find a suitable companion. God put the man into a deep sleep. As he slept, he removed one of his ribs and replaced it with flesh. God then used the rib he had taken from the man to make woman and presented her to the man. The man said, "Finally, bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh, her name is woman, for she was made from man. Therefore, a man leaves his father and mother and embraces his wife. They become one flesh. The two of them, the man and his wife, were naked, but they felt no shame." So we kind of have the first marriage happening here, the bond between the man and the woman, even the roles a little bit of what they mean to each other. The man isn't meant to be alone. He's meant to have a companion that is equal to him. But that also means that the woman isn't meant to be alone either if she was created to be with the man. It's very interesting, even the seventh day, how it's specified, which is technically the Shabbat, which is the day of rest. Usually, typically, people would consider that day to be on Saturday. And I do celebrate the Shabbat. I was raised into celebrating the Shabbat since before I could remember, since I was a baby. We would celebrate it at my grandmother's house. And so it is definitely a tradition that for a while I didn't really partake in my younger adult life, just being in the world. But there's a verse in the Bible about training a child up the way they should go. And I definitely think my family, my grandmother and mother, and just some of my very close family members really instilled that in me and so many of my cousins and siblings that even though I had strayed away from those traditions and those principles, I eventually came back to it. God didn't let me go far. And the relationship that I have with him is stronger than ever, due to that foundation from the beginning of my life, I believe. So I'm grateful. It just makes me look at things like this with more depth. Maybe because I've had more time to really sit with it and experience it. I can see here in this chapter that God is creating this perfect, beautiful setup. I mean, he has one rule, not to eat from this tree of knowledge of good and evil. Take note that there's a tree of life as well that could have been eaten from. Think about that. He didn't say you couldn't eat from the tree of life. He said the tree of knowledge of good and evil was the only one. And it's just really interesting, ultimately, what what takes place, what tree they actually decide to eat from. That's enough for now. We'll just move on to chapter 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and may God bless you. I pray so many blessings over you.